And
we're live.
We're live.
Pumpkin Valley Circuit round 2. Coming through our neutral lap, we'll go 5 hot once we cross the start finish.
You tell them.
GoPro, George, tell them about Lactico. There it is, right there.
Shameless plug for Lactico. George is our Lactico dealer. He's got us all on the juice.
You say Lactico, I say table stakes, baby.
Table stakes these days. Got to have Lactico. So we're.
The more I talk when I'm filming, the less voiceover I have to do afterwards. So.
You tell them, Mark.
They're road bikes, bro. They already rode. They're the road bikes, bro, this week.
Alex in the
Alex
orange.
here in disguise. He's the lone ride bikes, bro, guy out here today. The rest of them are the road bikes, bro, because they already rode. And then we gotta watch McKay, the red track. Then we got all these Swift riders here. Oh, look at that, self-relegating, that's nice. Centerline rule. Got the cycling Greek here, aka Steve Crucis.
Steve Crucis action there.
Oh, we're videoing, man. Between Steve and I, we're gonna make a mini-series today. No Matty Daddy to collab. But we got RK Cycle, so.
Shout out, woo woo, RK Cycle. Matty Daddy, I don't know where you are, man. You missed a good one tonight, though, Matt.
I'm hoping this will be as close to a recovery race ride, if that's even the thing. It went pretty hard yesterday, but I know when McKay pops off the farm after, instincts will take over.
Yeah.
Like the dog's seeing a squirrel. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about him staying away solo, but
We have a lot of guys here, and I don't think anyone's going to really attack that much.
I haven't talked to Steven. I don't know what he wasn't planning on going. I kind of made him last time. I don't know if you watched the video. Like I bridged up and I towed him into the frame. I'm like, now go!
Yeah, I saw Claire here.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah. Well, because he set up. I'm like, no! No!
So, going live here, we can see 5 to go. There's Terrence. He snuck in. He's right. Bikes Bros are
Oh,
a
Terrence
little
snuck in
incognito.
here.
There he is.
Okay, yeah.
Got the blue and yellow kit there, the black bibs.
All right.
Good times, good turnout. Coming into the start finish.
And we're hot.
5 laps to go. No more chit chatting. I'm gonna go ahead and move up because I don't like being that far back. So we had the A's and the B's. The B's had the yellow wristbands on their right wrist, so went ahead and moved up here. There's Richard, there's Steven.
Oh, me.
I think that's Jorge leading us out here. We're real good
filming,
tonight.
dude, we're live. more I talk now, the less voiceover I have to do after. So.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's almost like you're having like a two-way conversation with somebody.
I still like talk. I should ask myself questions, then I'll answer them afterwards. So, Mark, tell us what you're thinking.
I think you should race smart, Mark. Don't go with every move, but don't let him get up the road.
Okay, I'll try that.
Perfect. That worked out pretty good.
Insert comments.
So I think I stopped talking now. There goes McKay in the short shorts. Alex. Yeah, the Swift kids have all graduated. They don't get wristbands anymore. They're with the A group. They're too fast. So coming through the hairpin. This is the first little hill. Again, this is a Pumpkin Valley circuit. 3.8 miles per lap. 5 laps. I think that would equal 18 miles. Something like that.
A little jumpy when the K pulls up the front there.
19 miles. Anyway, it's going to get hot right here. Just kind of follow Steven up the right side. Ryan kind of comes over and kind of fade back onto his wheel. We didn't really have a game plan, but I think we kind of knew at some point one of us would try to get away, and then either me or Steven and the other would kind of bridge up, but kind of see how it unfolds here. Pretty nice weather today. We're starting to get longer days, so it gets dark a little after 7:10. There it goes. There's a move. And I kind of pull up next to McKay. I'm like, are you gonna tip this? He's looking at me. Are you gonna cover this? I'm like, that's my teammate up there. I'm not gonna cover it, but I think I'll pull through. And Alex says, I'll cover it. And then McKay goes. I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and jump on McKay's wheel and let him tow me up here. He's riding strong. And when Steven goes, he goes. He can open up a gap pretty quick, so I was glad I didn't have to close this myself, but I think we're dragging the whole field behind us. So, okay, we'll kind of stretch the rubber band enough till it finally snaps. Try to break it apart. I did a little fake attack, but kind of had some momentum. So I thought, I'll just make everyone work a little bit harder. Kind of ease back off here, and we're all together again, but kept things moving. It's usually a right to left wind here. Kind of pull over into the lane a little bit. Slot behind, but again, Ryan McKay with Steven on the front. Ryan rode really, really good today. Really impressed with him. You'll see towards the closing laps what I'm talking about. But we're trying to get a little something going here, but it's pretty early in the race still. Not much of a pull there, Ryan, but I'll let that one slide. This guy's not with us. He's just about to get freight trained by 25 guys, though. So try to give him a heads up. I think he had an off the front kit on, but I don't think it was Steve Grusis. But Steve was in the race.
On your left side.
Guy out just do a little training ride. We're coming into the downhill section. I think that was Patrick. Pat is a strong rider. He's kind of one of the leaders to coordinate our 3-4 guys race strategy. And he took a little flyer here. So I tried to just kind of sit on the front and see if he was going to try to open it up. But it's hard to attack on this downhill. It seems like you just end up getting pulled back. But you think you're going fast, but everyone else is going pretty fast too. It's nice kind of downhill. If I'm pulling, I try to stay pretty far right, because again, there's some kind of now left to right winds because we're doubled back on the road, Friant Road from up above. So the kind of left to right and then curves around and kind of goes into a headwind here after the kind of left-hand sweeper. We've got a little right sweeper first. None of the B riders are chasing him. Just towing the field, little false tempo.
Car up!
That's Sawyer. Sawyer rode good too. Just kind of move up on his wheel because no one was following him up. And then there's Terrence. He puts in a little dig here. He put in some strong efforts in this race. I was on his wheel on a couple of them. I was like, man, you're hurting me, dude. But real good. It's a fun afternoon on the bikes. Coming into 4 to go. This is the kind of headwind section. You get the right-hand sweeper into the kind of finishing straight. I think we're just kind of fanned across the front here. Just kind of rolling along. There's a couple cars behind us, and if they come around us after we come through this corner, which was fine. We were totally safe. You hope they come around you. You're not just holding up traffic. And I think we're rolling 25, 28 miles an hour. So they were cool. Honk or flip us off or throw anything. So it's kind of nice. Yeah, we kind of bring Patrick back, and then he kind of gives a little second dig before we quite close it down. So start finish line, 4 to go. We might have some action on the hill this time around for sure. There's some glass on Friant. We cleared the course, spent about an hour with a leaf blower, blowing all the glass and rocks and trash off the course. Took on our lunch hour last week, and by the time the race started, there was already trash again, and branches and rocks and some glass. So we didn't even attempt it this week. It's fine. I don't think we had any punctures this week, and we spent an hour trying to clear the course last week, and I think Ryan flatted. So we're better not clearing it, but it was pretty clear. It just gets bad. It seems like the hill after you make this little switch back here. This is why we have the center line rule, because that can get gnarly if you go hard left and kind of apex across, set this turn up, so you can still carry decent speed through it. Kind of pedal through the second half. Try to kind of accelerate smooth because there's Steven. Nice strong attack there. Thought for sure someone to be on his wheel. And there he goes. There's McKay. Looks like he's dragging Ryan, Sawyer, George with the blinky light. Michael, and they all kind of come around Patrick there on the hill, who was the one that was off the front originally. Still trying to bridge up to Steven. Can't remember if the field's behind us. I think we have a little gap here. Another little blow by Steven to kind of soften the field, and that was Jimmy, I think.
He's gonna lose the wristband.
Jimmy jumped pretty hard there. I was saying he's not going to have a yellow wristband anymore. He's too strong for the B group. We need to bring him up for the A's.
Wristband. Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy. He just went after a.
It was good to see him out. I haven't seen him for a while. He rode. I know he's been riding, following on Strava, doing a lot of Zwift stuff and staying fit. Hasn't forgot how to ride with other guys. So maybe he was hoping someone to go with him and they could work. Maybe I bridged up to him at some point here because he was just kind of dangling. Thought might be a good A-B combo here. Yeah, I think I'm. So he's way up there. He's got a nice big gap opened up. On the second lap, so it's not too early to get a break. So I feel like I dropped back and then attacked and bridged up. But I can barely see him. He's got the white vest. That was last year's Velo Kings uniform. So looks pretty cool. Definitely you can spot it with the light.
He's gonna go again?
Next time we come on the race next. We need you to continue to stop moving.
You're gonna let him go, right?
No.
I'll go with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop the fucking
George is basically telling me that Steven and I need to ramp up the pain to break the race up a little bit. That was Jeff Simpson on the Red Giant bike right there, rolled past. He's in the B group, and he hooked up with their team sponsor coach, Tony Wolf, my coach, and he's definitely come up in his fitness and stamina, hitting all his intervals, and he's just riding really strong. I think he's going to do well. I think Jeff might see 45. He might be 50 plus, but he'll tear up the 3-4 category pretty good with that. So I think this is where I kind of slip off the front of the downhill and try to bridge up to Jimmy here. It's just so comfortable to put my hands there. I'm just definitely gonna miss being able to do that. I don't know how that rule is gonna trickle down to us, but I know, look at the World Tour. I think they have until April 1st before they can't put their wrists on the tops of the bars like that anymore. So
You wanna go?
he was pretty smoked. I thought
We're caught.
I should have bridged up to him sooner, but I don't know if we could have gone the distance together.
Brought that down.
You see that RK cycle, baby?
Ryan, he shut me down, brought everyone back up to me that downhill. He did good. So looking forward to seeing. I
That's what
know.
it looks like with Aaron right there, folks.
Yeah, Ryan flatted on the second lap last time through it, so he definitely had better luck tonight as far as his tires go. So that was good. Really fun to see his point of view when he uploads his video. So I think he had his GoPro running too. So we're coming into the second lap, so we'll see 3 to go.
Still behind him, Diego. Get on his wheel.
Trying to save him in the headwind, but it's alright. And then this is Alex, I think, here with the Garmin taillight blinking there. He's really strong. Never raced. I don't think he's had much experience even on the bike, but just a super strong guy. He made a little mistake last week and went for the Prima lap early. Obviously didn't work out well for him, but he went strong today. He's a good wheel. Seems pretty comfortable and, you know, elbow to elbow with other riders.
You're right. 3 to go! 3 laps to go!
Yeah, no lap cars tonight, so we're calling audibles to make sure everyone knows what lap we're on. So 3 laps to go.
Yeah!
Who's up the road ahead of Jeff? I feel like there are a couple of B riders. Jeff's trying to kind of let that gap open here.
Inline skater up!
Oh, that's what it was.
Insert joke here.
Guy rollerblading.
Matthew Mills up!
Yeah, we had a teammate that was inline skating that almost lost a kidney. He crashed so hard last year, so
A lot of us.
we like to give him grief. Matt, if you're listening. Matt's actually going to be headed to Texas. Richard and I and Matt and Travis, I think, is going to going to the Davy Crockett Classic. It's a road race, time trial road race, the end of April. About 2 hours from Dallas and 2 hours from Houston, so kind of out in the sticks, but that's what you'd expect if they're going to hold a road race. So it'll be fun to go with that. It's a really good attack, Steven. Trying to get him to attack from a few more wheels back, so by the time you hit the front, you're just gone. So Steven and Alex go. I don't remember who this was. Patrick. and Diego, maybe, in the B group that we came around on the hill there. Came around them, and maybe I could create some separation on the hill, bridge up to these guys, and we could kind of get it going. But Steve went pretty hard to establish a break. Kind of move up behind Alex here, and might even pull through and just take a pole just to try to keep it going.
Let's roll it, boys!
That's it. Translation, someone other than me pull right now.
Let's go!
Let's roll it. I think Alex is feeling it to pull through on this one.
Come on,
So
Steven, pull off!
and now Steven, I think we're all back together. Just trying to get Steven to save some matches for later. But
Come on!
maybe we're not caught yet. Yeah, we're caught. There's George and Alex coming around. George, aka Smooth Peddler, and Steve with another attack. I swear he's like can like empty his magazine, but he definitely reloads pretty quick. So, attack, 10-second recovery, and then just another hard attack. And so here's a big dig by Terrence. He was throwing down some power because I'm seated. And I think I was putting 600 or 700 watts down trying to stay echelon left with the wind, but Terrence definitely shut this one down really well. It's a pretty afternoon out there, kind of overlooking the river bluff. Golden hour sun, I guess it is. So kind of pull off and give kind of a little counter here. I think we're actually all back together right now, so I'm just kind of trying to keep it fast without putting down much power. So right-hander little downhill. Gotta kind of look up the road to make sure those cars aren't backing out. There's a little pull out with people parked there off the right. It was clear. So kind of ramping it up to see what'll happen, and kind of hugging the right side to Ryan pulls around and the elbow. Yeah, it's a hard spot to get away on this downhill. And there's McKay. I like this stretch because you can see the shadows coming up. You don't have to look back. You just look for the long shadows creeping up next to you. You know someone's coming.
You're coming up on 2 to go, right? Coming up? Coming up, yeah. Make your moves count, don't waste it. jump hard. But glide back, because when they're on you, you're just towing it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I was yelling pull off, because we're all back together and you're still motoring. So, not that you can't, I mean, I've seen you do it. It's not that you can't, it's that you don't have to. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I can just make your guys' job easier. Try and get you guys where you're going.
I guess it's where it breaks apart here on the next climb. There's our inline skater friend. Yeah, this is just a cool little course because there's
McKay's still pretty fresh. He hasn't done much. He hasn't had to do much, so. Well, if he goes, that's definitely one to cover. One of those cover, the other counterattack, and just snap him off.
Alright, I'll do that here.
So he's like, all right, I'm ready. Let's do that.
Make sure you make it clean through the corner.
Yeah.
That's it, go.
He knew it was coming. There goes McKay. Just like we thought. Steven covers. They follow Alex up. Yep. That's power nice. How do I just shoot the gap and kind of countering McKay right here? So I kind of see me glancing back. Kind of a cool camera angle with the shadows, but a few times I get out of the saddle. Can't go hard all the way into the corner. I'm afraid they'll counter on the hill and I won't have anything left. So I think I check up a little bit here. Hoping I hurt them more than I hurt me on that one. And there goes McKay again. Steve and Ryan. Sawyer. Richard and George. And there's George with a J. And there's Alex. So everyone's pretty good through this corner. I'm afraid a guy's going to pedal strike or something for me, but nice and clean. Kind of ramps it up again. I think. Let's see what happens here. I think this is a good time to break it apart. I always prefer to move up on the left side here if I can, because this feels like there's a little more kind of sheltered. A little something going here. Got Ilias in front of me. And everyone just kind of slows down, and so I think I kind of go right here.
Up, go! Go!
Like, let's go. Up. I got a little gap, and I figured it's a good spot to open it up. We're still kind of topping out on the hill, and between Steven and I think we can kind of
Got a gap, come on.
pull this group through. So we put in some big power here just to try to open up things on this top section. 2 to go. Definitely time to. We're gonna establish a breakaway. This is probably the lap to do it.
Come on, motherfuckers, work!
Trying to motivate our breakmates a little bit. Hoping George and Ryan could take some pulls. I was definitely going pretty deep on mine. I think, I don't know, 450, minute pulls or something like that, and only a minute to recover on each.
Fucking pull through!
There we go. And Ryan came through. And George is just kind of tail gunning for a little while.
You're right.
I mean, Ryan shouldn't have to do much work. He got three Velo Kings in the break, and he's solo, so it's kind of ours to make work, and he's got a pretty good ticket to punch until we start lobbing attacks on him to kind of crack him, which you'll see in a little bit here. But right now it's all about just laying down as much power as we can to try to open up. I know we'll be able to recover a little bit on the downhill. And, we can just get up the road and out of sight. I think the field will be less motivated. I think Richard was sitting on the front, kind of covering attacks and making sure nothing got away. That definitely helped us keep the break going. We're coming to the downhill section. I don't mind pulling in the downhills. I feel like get pretty aero, so I can put the speed on the downhills without having to put out quite as many watts as I would. And, I feel like our brake benefits when we can open it up a little bit. So I think probably rolling 36, 38 miles an hour in that 5311 gearing.
It's rolling!
Come on, man. There we go. Poor Ryan. The punishment's going to start on him. Eventually, Steven and I just kind of tag team back and forth. Didn't want to tow him to the line and have him be fresh and sprint around us. So I want to make sure if we're going to get this break going, at least he'll be putting down some watts. So there's 4 of us in this break, and I think we stay away from here on out. So I might fast forward us to the climb or something. It's just kind of rolling through here. This headwind section's pretty brutal. I think Steven's pulling us along probably 25 miles an hour through here, but there's definitely a wind, so happy to share the workload with him. Coming into Bell Lap after the right-hand sweeper here. There is 4 of us in the break, I promise. A lot of Steven, and then me, and then Steven, and then me. And another monster pull by Steven. when Steven flicks me through, I'm surging pretty hard just to try to start to wear Ryan down a little bit so that he's not as much of a threat if it comes down to a sprint.
I need to recover for a second.
Yeah, I need to. I can ramp it, but I like to be recovered as much as I can when we make that U-turn. So much for my recovery ride. Sorry, coach. Hard to do a practice race and not race. It's kind of instinct takes over. Put in some power. That's some solid digs in this one. Definitely a lot more than the prescribed recovery ride I had, but I'll pay for it tomorrow when I do my 40-20 intervals. I got 4 sets of 5. That'll suck. Live in the moment.
Sit up and then attack that.
So let the games begin. There they go. That's the chase group. It looked like they were close, but they were kind of just waving like, have a good one. They're pretty far back there to see them at that part of the switchback. We're kind of up the hill, and I don't know. I mean, I think you see at the finish, I'll be able to turn around and pedal back to the start finish to catch the field sprint on the GoPro. So, but I'm just spinning up this thing and did some VO2 intervals yesterday on the dam hill at Millerton Dam. It's about 4.5 minutes at 400 watts. A couple of sets of 3 sets of 3 or 4. Anyway, that climb kind of reminds me, it's just a much shorter, but pretty good pitch to it. So definitely have decent race fitness for where we are in the season. And Ryan's alarm was going off because I was playing music. Like, is this your breakaway track? So I think he heard it and he reaches back into his center pocket to try to turn his phone down or off. So we got about a half a lap to go at this point.
I'm gonna catch us. You don't take a pull.
Put in a good little dig here. A little elbow through. And I come through pretty hard. I was kind of intentionally being surgy just because I knew Steven could sustain it, but at some point we need to eliminate Ryan from being a factor, because last thing I want to do is just empty the tank, getting to the finish line, and having him be fresh enough to just kind of come around us. So we got the numbers in the brake. We should use them for something. So I think this is kind of what we're using them for. Take a pretty long pull here. Got Ryan to kind of roll through again. Steven and George. Kind of nice to sit back a little bit. Little surge. Ryan did a really good job of countering this stuff and staying in it. It's definitely put the hurt to him in this breakaway, especially from here on in. probably should have just sat on wheels. I think he took 3 or 4 pulls here on the top, and even though they were short, he shouldn't have succumbed to the peer pressure of taking pulls, because I think it's about to go down here.
Wait till he's dead, then attack his ass. Wait till he dies, then attack his ass.
George gives him a little something to have to react to. Figure let's just hang back and then just slingshot around him. Didn't. Told Steven to slot in behind George, and
Perfect. Go.
that was good, but he attacked from the front. He should have attacked through Ryan and George, but he's strong enough. I guess it didn't matter on this one. It definitely still forced Ryan to kind of spool it up to cover it. I think George gives one more good one here too. Steven goes again, kind of surges up. There he goes.
Perfect. Get behind me.
George was kind of, I think that was kind of like the final straw attack. And Ryan was able to hold this one, but I think this time Steven attacks from kind of third wheel back. And I look over, Ryan doesn't go, so I jump on Steven's wheel now, and I think Ryan and George are just kind of going to ride it in for third and fourth, but Steven definitely pulled me to the line. We sprinted, but I definitely had a better position here being second wheel. And I wanted to come around on the right side, just to the left to right kind of wins on this finishing straight. It's a little more protected, but I was kind of waiting for him to jump, and I was hoping he wouldn't jump early. I think he jumps with about, I don't know, 100 to go. And so I just kind of motor around him, find another gear. That was it. Velo Kings 1, 2, 4. I think Ryan got third. Really strong riding from Ryan to hang with us. I think I flip it around here and we'll pedal back and.
Nice teamwork, dog.
Hell yeah,
Nice.
dude.
Good work, Ryan. Make him earn that one.
Ryan earned that third place, I'll tell you what. He was
We'll get up here, see if we can see the pack finish.
I think I can pedal back and
There you go.
catch it on the camera here. Hopefully not staring right into the sun. I think I was able to angle it up. So there's the
There the Cub.
pink lines.
Comes the Sprint.
So here.
Yeah.
And McKay.